You heard it here correctly, ladies and gentlemen. Tristan Social, the one, the only, the internet phenomenon for his lovely escapades in the art of pickup and delight, did in fact have a threesome in Vietnam, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I'm gonna go through my timeline. I have it here on the screen, as you can see. We're gonna be going through my timeline of the day that I got to Vietnam, my mindset going into Vietnam, my mindset going to the bars, and how I pulled off one of my favorite sexual memories to this day. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, strap in, but don't strap on, because it's gonna be one heck of a ride. Your boy Tristan Social had a threesome in Vietnam. Let's go ahead and break into it. I got the notes right here, so we can go ahead and go back and forth and just enjoy each other's company. But this is reminding me of when I came in from Ho Chi Minh. So you got Saigon, Ho Chi Minh, that's towards the bottom of Vietnam, and then you got Hanoi, the capital, which is at the top of Vietnam. And the reason that I was flying to Hanoi at this time is because when I was going through Malaysia with my homie Mike and Princess Poopwater, right, she's gonna hate me if she ever sees this video. But I was traveling with two Netherlands people, two Dutch people. And they told me, well, my man Mike told me, you have to go to Vietnam and you have to do the Ha Giang Loop. So to get to Ha Giang, you got to fly up to Hanoi. I was in Ho Chi Minh. I did the Cu Chi tunnels. You know, I like them Cu Chi tunnels. And then I also did Mekong Delta. You got her wet as the Delta. But it was like something missing. I wasn't in love with Saigon. I wasn't in love with Ho Chi Minh. So I flew my happy buns up to Hanoi, and I was immediately enamored with the type of energy that this city held. It was much more kind of like old style. It wasn't new, big buildings, crazy all over the place like Ho Chi Minh. It was much more old style. It was like a little bit older architecture, and it was really cool. I truly enjoyed the kind of vibration that was there. I think one of the big things that was different, we're going to be talking about this later in the video, is that the bar scene was way different, way crazier different than in Ho Chi Minh. So I fly into Hanoi, and the first room that I have doesn't have the spot doesn't have my room available. And when you go traveling, you're gonna have to get used to this. Sometimes booking.com will say that you have a booking, and it really doesn't. It's just something that you have to deal around. Don't worry about it when it happens. Remember this video. But the second spot that I stayed in was a little bit nicer, but I had to skate through the streets to get there. So I got my suitcase, I got me, and I got my skateboard, and I'm holding on to the back of this delivery truck, just cruising through the streets, and it was thankfully going in the same direction that I was going. It was amazing. So I put my stuff down, and it's towards the night now, and I'm immediately thinking, like, I need to get out tonight. Saigon had some cool nightlife, but I'm really feeling what the vibe is in Hanoi. It's the capital of Vietnam. I want to see what's going on here. So in Hanoi, all of the bars that they have on the Bar Street, the main strip, if you've ever been, you're watching this video now, you'll know what I'm talking about. But they have all of the vendors and all the bars putting their seats in the street. And the cops would come, and then everybody would scatter and pick up their seats. But there's people eating, drinking, like, 8 deep in the street, like 30 rows of them. It was an amazing vibe. Like, everybody's in the street just chilling. Like, it's exactly what you see on like one of those travel vlogs. You're like, oh, this is kind of crazy, but it's really cool in the same regard. So I'm walking through, I'm doing tricks, and the people in Vietnam have never seen a skateboard before. It felt like all the people there, all the vendors and the locals, constantly telling me to do tricks, telling me to do tricks. So I had my social game, like my demonstration of high value, my DHV, on point, but I still had anxiety. I don't know if it was because I wasn't interacting a bunch with a ton of people in Ho Chi Minh, or just, sometimes you go out and your vibe isn't 100% there. So having anxiety in the night, I'm like, dude, there's no way. I'm gonna go ahead and work through this. I'm not gonna submit to this nonsense. I'm gonna push through, and I'm gonna win here. So I said the ABCs to me in my mind to get my mind started, and also to get my voice started. And I actually have a sales call after this for somebody who wants to join our monthly coaching program. But saying the ABCs to yourself, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, saying that repeatedly over and over and over again is going to do 3 things. One, it's going to allow you to get used to your own voice. So you're not just going from completely dry to trying to go ahead and charm up a girl, because it doesn't work like that. You have to do warm-ups. Second, it gets you out, gets that, like, I call it the engine started. It gets your tongue moving. So it's like I said, you're not going from dry to trying getting to wet. And third, it's going to get you outside of your head into the surrounding area. So if you ever find yourself dealing with anxiety and you're sitting there or standing there or walking there and you're like inside of your thoughts, try saying the ABCs to get you out, and then try just naming things that you see so it brings you into the present moment. Orange chair, black guy, XYZ, green tree, and I'm feeling it right now, that the fact that I can go ahead and bring myself back into the moment is everything. It's absolutely everything. So it allows you to be present and not fighting yourself in the battlefield, so you can actually go ahead and swing your blade. So I'm saying my ABCs and I'm doing tricks in the street. I'm meeting people. It's a good time. And I meet the first girl from Italy. And she was a really sweet girl. She was like really sweet, and she was in a group of people, and I could already tell at the beginning of the night she wouldn't leave. You know, like there's that vibe of like, oh, you're really sweet, I like you, but I'm just not the type of girl to hook up on the first night. And I mean, I tried to push through, but I could tell just from the vibe it wasn't going to happen. She said that she was flying out the next day, so I pulled out the husband and wife routine. So if you guys don't know what the husband and wife routine is, something that I kind of like to go to sometimes, is where I go over the top. Instead of going, oh, you're my new girlfriend, it's like I'll ask them where they're from, and then I'll ask them like, oh my goodness, that's so crazy. I was actually planning on marrying a girl from that same place. Like I was planning on, having an Italian wife and half Italian, half black kids. Like that's so crazy that you're here right now. And what it does inside of the mind, it allows the girl to go ahead and connect with you in kind of a fantasy realm, not like a realistic realm where you say, oh, you're my new girlfriend. That implies a little bit of pressure. But if I say that you're my brand new wife, you're like, oh, you're my wife now. It gives this kind of energy of, he's playing, but he's really sweet. And there's all these things that go and are implied of being a wife, X, Y, and Z. You know what the deal is. So we did the husband and wife routine, and the energy is really cute. It's really sweet. If we had more time together, I might have stayed there with her in that moment. But listen, when I'm out in the field and I have what my objective is for the night, I'm not taking second place. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get what I want. And I had to drop a lot of shame to get there. I had to say, hey, it's not wrong to hook up. It's not wrong to look for one-night stands. It's not wrong to have casual sex. There's going to be a lot of different influences from society that are going to tell you that. But if you come in with the expectations of yourself and what you want from the night, because you're paying money to be there. Don't get it wrong. You either go to the venue, you're paying for alcohol, you're paying for the food in your stomach. Any way that you look at it, you're not being there for free. So you have to be there with intention for what it is that you want. And if that other person's intentions for going out tonight don't match your intentions, that's not a problem. You don't have to go ahead and be like, oh my God, it's so sad. Say, hey, kindly, I think you're really sweet, and maybe if we had more time together, I would really like to explore this, but tonight I'm really looking for somebody to enjoy the night with in an intimate way. If that's not you, hey, no problems. It was really nice to meet you. If that is you, I'd love to explore this a little bit more. Oh, it's not you? Hey, no worries. No harm, no foul. I hope you have a wonderful night. So I wish her well, and we keep moving. And then I'm skating through the streets and I find my next spot. And at the time, if you guys listen to my stories, about 90% of them is going to be completely sober. There's some times where I'm going to have like some champagne, or back when I used to smoke weed, I'll tell stories. But really, 90% of the time, 91% of the time, I'd even say, all the stories that you're going to hear are sober. I don't use alcohol really much at all to give me social lubricant, just because I've trained my brain to go ahead and react in situations that make me more of the program of I'm going to be outgoing instead of introverted. So I do some tricks for the locals, and then I come across a girl standing on a corner, and she's a little thick John. Oh my goodness, she was like the thick white European girls got sleeper builds on them, buddy. Like, what the heck is this? She is thick as can be, but like it's not like black girl thick where it's like, damn, shorty thick, or like even Latina thick where it's like, damn, shorty thick. It's like you gotta like triple take, and you like look at her thighs, and you look at like she's kind of wearing some loose clothing. You're like, damn, that's an ass up underneath that. And she got some buns up. Oh, what? She had like a tongue piercing, tattoos, or little dainty tattoos over her. She was from Poland. Shorty was thick, little like pale light skinned white girl. Oh, she was delicious. And so her and I start talking, and I'm wearing my black OnlyFans shirt at the time. This is back when I was still doing OnlyFans. And like we get to chopping it up. I'm flirting heavy at this point. I've already got my first kiss in the night. I'm already feeling good. And she said, like, we're going shooting the shit back and forth. She said she was down to do a video with me, but it wasn't not that night because she was going to leave with her friend that night. She wasn't going to leave her friend. She was going to leave with her friend. But she said she was down to like reconvene, reconnect another day because they had an excursion planned in the morning. It's one thing that you're going to have to go ahead and work around a lot of the times when you're traveling is like other people's itineraries. It's not super, super common that you're going to run across somebody that doesn't have anything planned. You got to kind of play the logistics game. And a huge thing in hookup is playing the logistics game, like making sure that your setup, your home, wherever it is that you're going to do the lay at is really easy to get to, and you don't have to have that person think about how to get there. Because as soon as the other person starts thinking, that removes the hypnosis, or removes the illusion of like, oh my God, this is like a movie, this is all happening so fast, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. And then it allows them to have their logical brain come in and be like, I don't really know this person, or I don't want to do that. But if it's all fluid in one motion, and this isn't manipulation, this is just going, it's like a movie. If the movie flows, you're going to keep on watching the movie. But if you're watching a movie and it feels chunky and scattered and the director doesn't know what he's doing, it's natural to be like, I don't trust you to go into that situation with you. So you want to make it as logically sound as possible. So I'm like, all right, let me grab your number. We're going to go ahead and reconnect. And right after I got her number, I made out with her. She said she was down to do an OnlyFans video with me. I'm like, bro, link that. Let's run that. Shorty, thick, Polish girl, like with the shits off the rip. I'm going to circle back on that. So I got her number, and I'm like thinking at this point, okay, I made out with 2 girls. What more can we really want into the night? But I'm like, you know what? Let's keep pushing. This is the first night in Hanoi. I think that there's something really magical here, and I really wanted to keep it moving. So I'm doing tricks for the locals again. This is a recurring theme. Like I'm active, I'm sweaty. I'm like keeping my energy and my social levels high here. And I'm sitting on a curb taking a little bit break, and I stand up, and 3 girls walk right in front of me right when I stand up. And they're standing arm in arm. I remember them walking specifically. It was one short girl, one medium-sized girl, and a little bit taller girl. And the taller girl was on the end to the left, middle girl, shortest girl, and the taller one looks back at me. And I'm like, oh, it's game time, buddy. Come on, stop playing. I'm taking that to the Yam Factory. She was like a little slim, thick model type. She was from England. She was a cute face. She wasn't ugly by any means, but she had like that little bit thicker than a model, but not thick, not slim thick, just like a little bit extra on her, but not fat. You know what I'm talking about? That kind of like athletic, kind of maybe like a swimmer build. You know what I'm talking about? But she had like a dress that was like a floral dress, but a little bit too short for her, so she kept pulling it down, and the yeeks was just hanging out, buddy. Like left cheek was just, you know, the fold. Oh my goodness, you know the fold, buddy? You know the booty fold? Oh, yeah. That shit was just hanging out. So she looks back and I'm like, yo, come here. And she's like, no, come here. So I throw my skateboard down. We go ahead and run back towards it. I start chopping up with her, bada boom, bada bing, babe. Like the energy's on fire. Like you already know when something is about to go down. She is with these other girls. One is from Australia, one is from the Netherlands, and they all met in a hostel. And we're chopping up, we're just talking about adventures, what do we have planned, where's everybody from? I'm from California, but I live in Mexico, blah, blah, blah. I was gonna move to Thailand, and it didn't work out. So, Netherlands girl gets up. And says, okay, I'm gonna go back to the hostel, I just wanna, shower and end my night. So it's cool. So it's me, Aussie girl, and we're going like me, English girl, and then the middle girl was from Australia. And we're going around from a couple different bars. I'm not drinking at this time, but I'm buying them drinks. I'm just lubricating the night. And we're sitting down, and the other girl walks up to a bar, and there's a sign that says sex club. And it said sex club, but just like in a neon sign. She said, oh, sex club. And I see her kind of like wander off a little bit, but she says sex club kind of loud. And then I see some Vietnamese dude start following her and start hitting on her. Like, oh, let's go to the sex club, And I could immediately tell this dude had 1, no game, 2, he was a little bit on the weird side, and 3, she was just not interested in him at all. I could tell it just wasn't her type whatsoever. So obviously not into him. She comes back and sits down next to me and the England girl. And he comes back over, and I take the lead. I'm like, I could already see the writing on the wall, like, okay, this is not what she wants. We're gonna go ahead and handle this situation as a man should. I'm like, so I'm sitting down next to England girl, I have my arm around her, and then I tell Aussie girl to come in, and I have a long arm, so I reach around and put my arm around both of them, and I tell the guy, hey, these are my girlfriends, sorry about that, like, she just said sex club because she's drunk right now. Nobody's really drunk, they were barely even tipsy, but it was just like, dude, come on. So I take the lead, I put my arm around both of them, and then after the guy leaves, I notice that the Aussie girl doesn't immediately get up from under my arm after the dude leaves, and I'm like, wait a second, sir, I'm gonna go ahead and grab this momentary brief interaction right here, because when it comes to hookup, and it comes to fluidity as well, you have such a small window to seize opportunity sometimes, that the best thing that you can do is grab that when it comes. And I want you guys to get into the mindset of this opportunity has presented itself to me because it's my opportunity to win. If I don't take this opportunity, somebody else is going to have this opportunity presented to them, and they're going to go ahead and take care of it. And that person is not going to be as good as me in my job, so I need to go ahead and make sure for all parties engaged here that I make this happen on this attempt right here. This is made for me. The biggest thing about action takers in a university, in my private group, is just taking action consistently, because what you find is you're going to find patterns, and the more patterns that you find, the more that you're able to go ahead and exploit those patterns and then figure out the game behind those patterns. And if you can figure out the game behind the patterns, then you're going to be winning more often than not. Nobody's 100%. You're going to hear me say this inside of the private group, that this is art, not science. 2 + 2 does not always equal 4. It could be a really romantic 6. So it doesn't have to make sense all the time. So I noticed that she doesn't get up right away from underneath my arm, and I'm like, let me make a proposition here, because I like what I like, and maybe these girls like what they like as well, and I'm not gonna make an assumption, I'm gonna make a proposition, because that's what we do, baby. So I say, hey, it's getting late, let's go back to my place and have fun. And I'll never forget the look that this England girl gave to the Australian girl, and the Australian girl gave to the English girl, and then the English girl says, let's go have fun. And the Australian girl says, okay, bada boom, bada bing, baby. I am on I take it back. I'm like, let's get the taxi. We're going back to my place. They're staying in a hostel, so they're happy to come back and get a warm shower and have a private room. I don't bag on hostels whatsoever. I enjoy the hostel environment, but logistically, like I was saying earlier in the video, buddy, yeah, when I'm yamming, I need to have my yam space. I'm not sharing the Yam Factory with no other workers, okay? When it's time to yammity yam, I'm jamming. I'm not looking for no dealing with security at the front door. I'm not looking for, oh, come back to my hostel cubby and do all this. No, when it's yam time, it's yam time. I'm driving the lane, baby. Don't even try and stop me. I'm LeBron to the whole time. Son, stop playing with me. I don't play around when it comes to logistics. And if you want to get good at pickup, stop playing around with the logistics. Make sure your logistics are set so that you know where it is that you're leading the night. It's like you go and try and hook up with a girl, and you even get to that point, subconsciously you're going to be thinking dude, I have nowhere to take her, so I'm not even going to be making the right movements to get there. But if you have everything lined up, then you can go ahead and make the transition smoothly and effortlessly, and that's where the real magic happens. Is you want to get to the point where it just feels like a movie, like it's your director and you're orchestrating the orchestra, you feel like Mickey Mouse with the wand. You just throwing the water around. So we go back to the room. I handle the situation tough, baby. Bada boom, bada bing. I put them in a sleeper hold. I was throwing them around. And when you're the only man in the threesome, as I hope that you are, not judging you for your preferences, but I know a lot of my men out there watching these videos, you want to be the only man in the room. You got to be able to be like a straight shot caller. You go here. You do this. Touch each other there. You want to be able to just move and groove and be the orchestrator on the court. You want to be the coach and the star player. So I'm putting the work in on them. I'm like, they ain't going. I slip that Jimmy on, boom, boom, bing, 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 I'm doing an all-star performance. My first night in Vietnam. Just got the plane from lower part of Vietnam. Come on, baby. This is the opportunity that the universe gave to me to go ahead and take, and I'm taking that thing to the rim, to the gym, to the sim, baby. So about an hour and a half goes by, and Aussie girl leaves to go back to her hostel. England girl is knocked out. She got the brunt of it. We kept going around, but she couldn't even get up really to go ahead and walk about the room. She was passed out. Oh man, Tristan, you did the work to me. Yeah, buddy. So England girl stays, and then she leaves in the morning. And then I'm like, dang, that was an amazing night. I feel amazing. Let me go ahead and enjoy Hanoi some more. And stay out, do a couple of things, check out a couple of places, go to a couple of museums. But 3 days later, I go on the bus to go up north and to go to Hanoi, where the loop is, to do the motorcycle tour. And I take the sleeper bus, and there's some clips from the sleeper bus. I'm not going to put them in this video. I'm honestly lazy when it comes to video creation. That's why I just like talking to you guys for 20 minutes. But I go up to Hajong, and we do the check-in in the morning to go ahead and go on the motorcycle tour. And guess who's on the motorcycle tour with me? You wouldn't believe it. The 3 girls that I met that night, 2 of them which came back home to American Poppy and put the people's elbow in them like The Rock did, talking no Boulder, baby, no Colorado, baby. But nothing happened later after that with them. But I felt like the man, because the two of the 3 cutest girls on the tour, I smacked down in one night together. Reputation got out that I was the king of Pound Town, and life was good. I think some of the big lessons that you guys can take away from this is take action when action presents itself. Have your logistics set and build yourself up to the man that feels like he's confident and able to be the person that 2 other people look at and be like, dang, we can share this guy. He's the man to do the job. A lot of guys try and cheat the work. They look at my body and think, oh, you know, I used to be skinny, bro. I didn't cheat the gym. You can't cheat the gym. You can't cheat 225. Like you really have to put yourself into the ringer to get to this point. And women feel that. They feel a man that has not cheated the grind. So if you ever feel like you're cheating the grind, stop cheating the grind and understand that there's going to be a time when the grind pays off and you get to the top of the mountain. You're glad you did the workouts necessary to make it as easy as possible. Because even if you get to the top of the mountain by cheating, you have to climb down. So if you got value out of this video, if you feel like you could have a threesome in Vietnam just based off the story that I told you, go up to Hanoi, run the streets, do some tricks for some locals, and grab 2 shorties from 2 different continents, go ahead and give me a subscribe. If I gave you a little bit of value, go ahead and hit me with a subscribe. Leave a comment. I love seeing what you guys comment. I love being a person that you guys can come to for stories, advice, hookups, anything like that. I love being that man for you, and I hope that I inspire you to live a life with less shame than you're living right now and more joy in your day-to-day process. So do your push-ups, do your journaling, do your meditations, and do your reading. Become a better person and have as much fun as you can in this lifetime and enjoy every single process, because you're going to go as far as you can see, and then when you get there, you're going to see how you can go further, and then there's one day that you can't go any further, and you're going to have to pass the torch to another person. So I love you with all of my heart. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Tristan out.